Welcome back, trainer. So we're going to be taking a look at this Tangela Raid here, and I thought to myself, okay, a Tangela Raid, who wants to really see that? But then I thought, okay, let's, mix it up a bit and make it kind of interesting. So I'm just going to be using my Yanmegas here. And the reason why my higher CP ones are towards the back is because it does not have the correct moveset. And I actually used about 7 TMs today trying to get a specific move for a Pokemon, which I will not name, and I will not show the image because it's just very depressing. It was one of those times where it just bounced back between two moves, and I was just thinking to myself, oh, here we go again. I didn't let it get to me. I was just like, whatever. I'll get the TMs right back. As soon as Giratina comes back, I'll be hitting those raids up like crazy. Or if I want to do, about half my day of raiding, I might get about 7 TMs, so it's no big deal. So we're going to be going in here, and Yanmega is going to be a bug and flying type, so it'll be double resisting those grass moves. And if this was in rainy weather, I would be able to do it with just Yanmega. I want you to see how well just one performed. So going up against a Sludge Bomb Tangela, I don't think you're going to quite be able to do that because it's going to be hitting you quite hard. But with those grass moves and Solar Beam being a single charge and only happening once in a while, if you do dodge it, you should be able to just make it all the way through if you did have rainy weather. So I'll be giving that a try whenever that does happen, if the perfect timing arises. So the Yanmega going through here, it was pretty neck and neck for a while, which was pretty amazing. The thing is awesome. I love this. And if you like to PvP and you need something that kind of resists ground types, probably because you have a weakness to that with a specific Pokemon, well, Yanmega can do the job quite well. If you have the perfect switch timing and say they did some sort of ground move, it will be double resistant because it is bug and flying, and it won't do much damage. Unfortunately, Yanmega in Pokemon Go does not have a grass move yet, but in the main series games, it did have something called Mega Drain. So hopefully one day in the future, it will get that move because it's just not currently in Pokemon Go yet. So down goes the first one, and look how much health it had. So it's very clear that you will be able to take out one of these Tangelas with just one Yanmega, probably fairly easy as long as you dodge these solar beams. I don't think you're going to be able to do it against the Sludge Bomb, although who knows? I haven't checked out the simulator or anything like that, but hopefully I can get that going in the future if we do have rainy weather and I find one of these Tangela raids. Now we're going to be taking a look at some Kingdom Cup battles going up against my friend here. And also take note that he doesn't have secondary moves on a lot of his Pokemon, so that's a big factor in winning and losing. But we'll be able to see how some of these Pokemon do perform with specific moves. And Lucario, guys, I mean, oh my gosh. Power Up Punch, I didn't want to admit this, that it's just a little bit OP, but yeah, it is. It is in Pokemon Go. Yes, I know in the main series games, every time you use it, you get an attack boost, but the energy gain for it is so low. I'm not, I'm not complaining. I enjoy it, and it's really awesome that Lucario is this good, but ooh-wee, every single time you use it with such a low energy gain, counter being strong already, you can literally run through teams. But obviously you can destroy it if you have fire types or possibly some sort of ground type Pokemon, although counter and power up punch are still going to be putting in work here. And in comes the Lucario going up against that Bastiodon. He's going to be shielding it up, and I will have my shield ready to go, and it's going to be almost out of there. And then Lucario just coming in to sweep and counter. So yeah, if you don't have one and you are wondering how are you actually going to get a Lucario into the Great League if you don't know by now, well, you're going to have to trade one. Possibly a Riolu would probably be your best bet. And then if you want to go ahead and check that before you evolve it, it has to kind of drop in its IVs. It can't be too good. And then once it's done that, then you should be able to evolve it and bring it into the Great League. But once again, I'll say this. Do not evolve it until you check its IV somewhere on a website to see what it's going to land on when you evolve it, because that's a significant amount of candies to just evolve a Riolu into Lucario just for a maybe. Okay, so make sure you check that. So the Kingdra coming in here and putting in work up against that Bastiodon. It will be resisting fire quite a bit, being a dragon and water type, so it will be a fantastic counter for, say, Lucario, who is extremely weak to fire. So in comes the Altaria here. And sorry I'm not doing like a complete commentary of these battles, just giving you a little bit of my thoughts here as well. Charizard up against Altaria. It can be a good matchup for Charizard depending if the opponent with the Altaria has no more shields, because he will be able to Dragon Claw. Although Dragon Breath is just, it rips into everything. So you will be able to use Ice types and take out that Flying and Dragon Altaria though, so it's not going to be invincible. In comes the Melmetal, and he's using Monferno. Oops, not looking great for me. Let's see if I decide to stay in here. I do have Rock Slide. It's not going to be super effective because it is part fighting, and fighting resists rock, but it's just going to be neutral there. It would do a good amount of damage nonetheless. And I do decide to shield that up at the last second here. I was like, nah, it's not going to... I better shield it up. I don't want to go down quite yet. Get off another Rock Slide here. Either burn his shield or tear into that Monferno. And yes, Monferno is pretty good, as well as Dragonair. I like the types that he's using here. And I'm just deciding, because both of them are weak to fire, you better be careful not to go in there with too many types that are weak to one specific thing. So we're going to shield it up, looks like. Okay, yep. And Psyshock is going to be super effective, and he has more shield, so we're looking pretty nice. So long as he doesn't come in with another fire type or possibly a rock Pokemon. Mixed with steel, you know, Bastiodon, here he comes. Oh no, that thing is just an absolute monster. If you do not have the correct typings to go up against it, here, I'm going to give you some options on what you can do, basically. If you're using Altaria or Skarmory, basically just set your phone down and just let them win. No, I'm just joking. But really, though, yes, the thing is a monster. You cannot do much to it. Obviously, if it had a little bit of health left, you will be able to take it out. But for the most part, just check it out here. It just rips into it. So there will be great counters to go up against this. Lucario, it's going to obviously be one. You're going to want fighting types, possibly Blaziken with counter, or even Infernape with Rock Smash, because that would be doing quite a bit of damage. Rock Smash is pretty strong, slow move, but PvP works a little bit differently. And even Monferno can do pretty good going up against a Bastiodon, or anything water should do pretty good, or even ground. So it's not invincible or anything, but matched up against specific Pokemon, it will take over the situation fairly quickly. So down he goes, and we're just waiting here, nice and charged and ready. He will be bringing in his Bastiodon, so perfect. So we can take a look here. He will probably be shielding this up. Definitely, he wants to preserve that. I do have another Surf ready to go. Let's see if he'll let that go through. And he blocks it yet again. And there's nothing I can do because, you know, that rock there is going to be doing pretty good against that Lapras as well. So in comes the Charizard going up against my Lucario. And yet again, another great counter here, so you can have a good idea as to what you should do in these situations. Charizard will do fantastic going up against Lucario. It will be a part flying type, so it's not taking that much damage from the counter and the power-up punch. Although if you do get going with the Lucario, it will put in work into anything. So in with my Altaria here. Down goes the Charizard. Let's see what we have going on. And it's that Bastiodon. And it's one of those situations where I can fight and do whatever I can to survive, but there's nothing. Unless it had like a couple inches of its health left or sliver there, Altaria is basically a goner. Okay, if you want to get up to that Dragon Pulse, don't waste your time. All right, just let me tell you that. It will do a little bit more damage, but not that much more. So down goes the Altaria, and he takes me out with the Bastiodon. It's a good game. All right, into the next match here. Starting it off with Lapras, he's going in with that Charizard. I think I was using quite a bit of steel types, and he just was like, nope, not having it. So he's going in with the Charizard. In comes the Altaria, and I will be going for that Dragon Pulse here. And it does go through and does a good amount of damage. That Dragon Pulse is going to be a legacy, so don't try to TM your Lapras to try to get it. You're going to be better off with Ice Beam. So if you have one of those, that's much better. I would say going obviously up against an Altaria because it's, you know, double weak to that. But if you were faced off against another water and ice type Pokemon, which will be eligible because of the ice, then Dragon Pulse is probably where you're going to want to be at, although it takes quite a bit of energy to get there. So down it goes, and let's keep moving on here. Let's see what we have. Bringing in the Charizard, and he's ready to go, and Dragon Claw will finish me off there. And in comes my Melmetal, I would assume. Yeah, of course. So that Thunder Shock is going to be doing super effective damage, and a Rock Slide pretty much will take Charizard out in one hit, even if it had full health. So we will be retreating just on time for the Kingdra to take the full blow of that Blast Burn, and it didn't do much damage whatsoever. And that's what I used the Kingdra for, to help me up against those weaknesses. So let's see what we have here. No more shields on his end. Going to go ahead and hit up that Hydro Pump, and we've seen this situation before. And that's a good game. Thank you for watching, trainers, and I'll catch you all next time.